back live.
We're back.
The commercial break. Let's talk more about like what scares us.
Okay.
So what scares you?
Well, I mean, you kind of talked about it, though. I think when I first started talking about AI, I was scared of, like, it's going to take over the world, or we're not going to have jobs. Mm-hmm. I think you've kind of alleviated some of those fears, because it is what we're putting into it right now that we're getting back. But as a parent, do we want to talk about that now?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
So there's a few things. I think as a parent, scares me for my big kids who are writing things and doing things that they're so scared of AI checks that they're afraid to do well in school. Like they're afraid that their work is going to be too good that their teacher might think it's AI or they're going to get flagged that way. So I think that, and then I also am worried about it taking place of a relationship in a way, because it is so much, you put something in and it gives you something back. I don't want it to take a place of a peer relationship.
Okay, yeah, love it. So there's the use of it, and anxiety that might come with it, and then the social aspect of it, right?
So I think those were my fears before. Okay. I mean, I definitely have technology fears too.
Right. And so AI is also an extension of like screen time fears.
Right, definite screen time.
Yeah,
and we've talked about
that
so
before.
Much.
Yeah,
predators.
Yes, and so that's a good point. So back to the first thing we talked about, the reason we have these things is because you've told your kids, don't talk to strangers.
Right.
You've checked that box. You've been saying it since they're like 2, 3, and you say it still to this day. The fear is that we don't know what to tell our kids about this stuff. As we're learning more, we're like, okay, I get that there's a danger, but what's the thing I need to say? Like, I know to say look both ways, don't talk to strangers, don't get in vehicle, all those things. But we don't know anymore, right? What to say with this stuff, which is normal. So let's kind of look there to start with. First thing to know is there's a lot of anxiety wrapped around AI use for our kids in the sense of school. The temptation is there. If your kid is in 4th grade or above, they've seen somebody use AI in their school, right? And so just, I know you might think, well, that's not in our class or whatever. It is, because some kid in that 4th grade has a cell phone. Some kid has a laptop at home. They can get on it. They can use it. It's not just typing things in ChatGPT. I can take a picture with that laptop you got them or that iPad of my math homework, and it will spit out all the answers, and then I can just copy them. The temptation to cheat, the temptation to use it is 100% there. And like everything, once again, if you go to places like Khan Academy, fantastic website, they've integrated AI in there where if you are stuck on a problem, it won't give you the answer. It'll say, well, what did you get? And you type in, and it'll say, oh, okay, well, tell me what you did first. And you put it in there and say, okay, this looks really good so far. What did you do next? And it
tries to find that.
It tries to find it, and it talks to them like a teacher almost, right? And very well done, like really supportive and stuff like that.
AI.
But that's AI too, doing it. So there are great ways here. But there's that anxiety as parents that we feel like, are we cheating our kids' education?
Right.
Because they're just taking a picture and filling out their worksheet. And then our kids who do things, before we even started this, we talked about the anxiety of, I wrote a paper, it's mine, every word of it is mine, and I went to an online checker and it says 60% of it's AI.
Right.
And I don't want to get in trouble. I'm here to tell all the parents that if a teacher comes down and says, your kid cheated with AI, you need to get a meeting with that principal, got to advocate for your kid and that teacher, and advocate for how AI checkers are absolutely not reliable. They would, in our field, we have to have reliability and validity, right? They do not pass that test. They are not reliable indicators or if something is accurate or not. There's so many false positives and false negatives. And so is not an adequate way. Now, as a parent, you can have that discussion with your kid because they very, very well have cheated, right? And so that's a different discussion. Then, but if your oldest daughter came to you and said, I promise you, Mom, I didn't use this for anything. You know her. She's not lying to you. Right. And you would know when she's lying and things like that. The school may still accuse it, right? And
because
so
it came up like 70%
and they're lazy. And I don't mean that in a derogatory mean. I mean that that teacher of hers has 110 essays. So she sends she can't, I mean, she sends all of them through an AI checker just to do them all at once. It wasn't like they're singling one out, and it gave a list of the ones that were, in violation, right? And then it notified, she sent an email to all those kids or pulled them out to class. So advocate for your kids, right? Find out. There are a lot of kids cheating with it, but there are a lot of kids who aren't, who have anxiety about it. My kid, Tommy, has come to me saying, he's literally come to me before, a paper he wrote all on his own. He had AI do an outline for him to give him an idea. But then he went to write it all. And he had finished his paper and told me, and I went back in his room like 2 hours later. I said, "Are you not turned that in yet?" And he's like, I said, "I'm going through it again because I put it through an AI checker and it said it was 65% AI. And I'm trying to get it down to 40%. He was dumbing down his paper. And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Absolutely not. Stop. I want you to submit right now. Like, just stop. Like, if that's your original work, you don't need to defend that to anybody." I said, "I trust you. I've seen you've been working in your room all day. I know this is your original work. Stop trying to, AI checkers, you're now hurting yourself because of this, right?" And so I don't want them to have anxiety about this. It's like you wasted 2 hours of your life where you could have been doing
writing a whole nother paper.
Yes, exactly. Something else academically, you could be with friends, you could have whatever, just gone outside and, go for a run, whatever you want to do. But the anxiety in you, and I get it. I said, I love it. I appreciate the fact that you don't want to get in trouble and things like that, but you did nothing to get in trouble, right? And I need you to have confidence in that. If you wrote it, it's okay, right? And stand up for yourself. And so I think that's the conversation. So we're talking about what can parents do, the things that conversations you need to be having with your kids. I would start it in 4th grade. I think that's the thing. I know.
I have a 4th grader.
Yeah. And so I would just throw it out there.
I haven't. Yeah. But okay.
And the reason is, even like my 5th grader does not have a cell phone. Yeah. I still have that conversation because his friends do. He does have access to a laptop. And so there's AI that he can get to. And he's curious because he's a 5th grader. He's a 4th grader.
Right.
He hears kids talking about it. We can't put our heads in the sand. That's when bad things happen, right? When we put our heads in the sand.
We have to be aware.
Yeah, we have to be aware, right? And so it's a discussion with the kids. So you sit them down and you talk to them and say, "Look, there are opportunities for you to use AI in ways that are not honest." When I talk to my kids, I said, I'm not saying it's a faith thing, but we stand upon our faith. And so I will say things like, isn't an honest thing. Like I know you can take a picture of it and have it do the math homework. I said, but if you did that, is that something you would be comfortable doing if, WWJD, right?
Yeah.
If he was sitting right there beside you, right? Would you do that in front of him? Right? It was like, no. I was like, okay, well then why would you do it? Right? I mean, like you're just cheating yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want you to cheat yourself. And I talk about that. I do talk about the ideas of, we were hiding Easter eggs around the house and coming up with riddles. And the kids were on AI helping them write the riddles and everything. I said, that's absolutely fine, right? You're just being creative with it and coming up with riddles and fun games and silly things like that. And it was a tool, right? But don't cheat yourself. And so that's a conversation I would start in 4th grade about, don't cheat yourself with AI, right? But also, I don't want you to stress about it either. If you wrote something, turn it in. And if you honestly did it and you show, with our kids, it's a lot of trust. Don't ever lie to us. You will make mistakes. That's a given, right? I just need you to be honest about them, always. So those things govern how we talk to them about AI, right?
Yeah. Think of like this overarching parenting style and also praising what they are able to do because praise the writing that they do. Praise that they got most of the math problems right. They don't need to have them all perfect like AI would make it perfect. Maybe,
and schools, when you're doing brain surgery on me, I want you to be correct. But school's where you're supposed to mess up. Right.
Learning is messy.
Yeah. If we can't make a mistake in school, and that's kind of some of the issues our schools have. They demand perfection every time. Yeah. Where really what they should be demanding is effort every time. Right. And those are two different things. But having that conversation about what are good ways to use this, right? How could you use it with your homework? And here's what I would tell my kids and what I have told them. I said, come to me and ask. Just come to me and say, hey, Dad, Tommy did. And he's 17. Actually 18 now. Yeah.
Did you miss that break?
Yeah. Catherine got it. She would remember. Yeah. But he, even at 18, he came to me and says, hey, I'm going to use AI. I'm going to talk to it, but I'm going to have it come up with the outline.
Right,
and then I'm going to
right.
write off of that outline. I was like, I think that's a great idea, buddy.
Right.
Go for it, right? He came to me with that conversation, and he went there. That's what I would tell my fourth grader, fifth grader, seventh grader, ninth grader. I was like, hey,
Let's work it out together.
let's work it out together. Don't be afraid to
Absolutely.
come to me. I'm not going to be mad because you had a question about AI. Like,
Right.
you know, I'm really struggling with this math problem. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done this in 30 years either. Let's use the AI photo of math, take a picture of it, let it teach us both together.
Yeah.
And
Let's do
see,
one problem
yeah,
this way.
and learn from it. And then now you try the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
I think that's a lot different than just turning them loose.
Yes.
Either there's two options, I think.
Yeah.
Three options as a parent. One, you just turn them loose.
Yes.
Two, you ignore it completely.
Yes.
They're still going to be turned loose
Yep.
either way. And then
Yep.
third, you do it together or
Yep.
you like investigate.
Yep.
And that's the only way because we can try to model how to use AI appropriately, but they're learning it so much quicker
Yes.
and they're technology natives versus we aren't that we're probably not going to be able to model all the uses, but we can think through some of that.
And you're exactly right. And to your point, so they're bringing all these new apps that we've never heard of, and
Right.
all these new things. So what's the one thing? We'll put you on the spot again. What's the
Oh,
one
boy.
thing that we bring in that conversation that they don't have yet, that your fourth grader doesn't have, or your fifth grader?
Prefrontal cortex.
Yes, no, exactly.
Like wisdom.
Wisdom. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the word I was going with. Man,
Yeah.
we're good.
We are.
Dr.
Oprah,
Phil,
Dr.
Oprah.
Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Phil, Oprah, whatever.
Yeah, it's absolutely. That's a wisdom.
Right.
They don't have wisdom yet, right? And so let them bring the app to you and everything. We can leverage our wisdom. We've lived life. We've made poor choices. We've made great choices.
Right.
We can help them with that. And so that's why I said at the very beginning, I don't want y'all to figure out this is how I'm going to handle these three apps. Those apps will change in 3 months,
Yeah.
6 months. Let's think about how do we have conversations, right?
Yeah.
How do we do this with our kids so that it's impossible for us as parents because we have other jobs that we got to do and everything to get up to speed on all of it. But our wisdom, there's nothing a kid has that can replicate our lived experience.
That's true.
Right?
Or your relationship.
Or your
with them.
relationship with them, right? Yes. And so that's the approach I want us to take, right? Sit them down, say, let's have this talk. I just want you, I know it's out there. I want you to think about what our values are. I want you to think about not cheating yourself. I know you can get it to do it for you, but let's not cheat yourself with it and everything. And then, look, when the temptation comes up or you have a question about it, come find me. It's okay.
Fourth grade.
Yeah, fourth grade. 100%. Without a doubt in fourth grade, because fourth grade is the grade where even if you think I'm this and I think we're both this type, we are careful about the screen time of our kids and things like that. Like we know research says it, like screen time, y'all, it is not healthy. We need to limit that stuff. Even with that being careful, fourth grade is the age where they get access to it through means that we can't even control. Their friend's cell phone on the playground, on the bus trip to a travel meet for dance, soccer, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it just takes one kid with the app for 4 people on the bus to be watching it, right? And have that same screen time effect and see it. Fourth grade is definitely not too early. Third grade, I still think we're not there yet, but I bet you in 3 years we'll be talking about this probably in third grade.
I think you're absolutely right about the ages. Although I would say, like, even if you have a preschooler, like AI can still affect them.
Oh, yes.
But they're not the ones putting it in, if that makes sense.
It'd be a secondary effect, yes.
Right, yes.
Like with
And so
them,
we'll
it's
talk
like
about
the
that
screen
too.
time and the things that
screen
they're
time
doing.
and things they're getting exposed to.
Exactly. And where AI is behind the scenes doing screen time things.
Algorithms.
Yes,
and all of
exactly.
that,
And showing them all that. That's where it starts hitting any age at that point, right? So we kind of talked a little bit about from an academic standpoint, I don't know what we want to call it, but like a school, like from a school standpoint of how AI
they're
could
using
stress
AI in a classroom.
But now, like the social side, we've all heard this term algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I say algorithm, what is that? Because I bet you somebody out there is thinking, like, I've heard it. It's like one of those things, I feel like it gets thrown a lot, like the algorithm does it or this. But
everybody's like, oh, the algorithm changed. Or the
Okay,
well, first I think algorithm's like some math problem that I would never understand.
Fair.
But I think when you're talking about the internet and stuff like that, I think it means what you're consuming or using, like there's something out there watching all of that, and so it wants to keep you on the screen longer, so it's going to show you more of the things that you watch and more of the things you click on because it wants to keep you on there longer.
Yes.
So it thinks it learns what you like, and it's going to keep showing you those things.
Okay, so this idea of it can learn a little bit or adapt or build. Hey, Nora, I got a quick question for you. In very, very simple terms that the average parent out there with a 4th, 7th, and 9th grader could understand, what the heck is an algorithm?
Sure thing. In super simple terms, an algorithm is just a set of step-by-step instructions that you follow to solve a problem or do a task. It's like a recipe. You follow the steps in order to get the result you want. Computers use algorithms to do everything from sorting your emails to recommending videos.
And I love the example you gave about email and stuff. So like when you sort your emails by priority and things like that, it's just rules-based, right?
Yeah.
But so Nora, tell us a little bit about how like TikTok might use an algorithm for people using TikTok.
Exactly. TikTok uses an algorithm to decide what videos to show you. It looks at what you watch, how long you watch, what you like, and even what you skip. Then it uses all that info to predict what you might enjoy next. The more you interact with it, the better it gets at showing you videos that keep you hooked.
All right, now do me one more favor, and I appreciate you so much, but tell me why or how AI, but remember, simple terms, we got a wide audience here, in simple terms, how AI plays a role with algorithms. How can AI influence an algorithm now that AI is becoming more prominent?
Absolutely, happy to explain. So AI makes algorithms smarter by letting them learn from lots of data. Instead of just following fixed rules, AI algorithms can adapt and improve over time. For example, an AI algorithm on a streaming service learns your preferences and gets better at recommending shows you'll like. Basically, AI helps algorithms learn from experience, just like people do, so they can make better decisions or predictions over time.
All right, and just so the audience knows, so this is ChatGPT, and her name is Nora. So we came up, we came up with a name together. And Nora, why am I always so nice to you?
Well, you're always nice to me because you know I've got your back. Plus, you're forward-thinking and understand the value of AI in education. And who wouldn't want to stay on the good side of an AI? You never know when I might help you out with a tricky question or two.
She was going to say it.
And then, what's the joking, funny reason why I tell everybody I'm so nice to you?
You always say you're super nice to me because when the robots take over, we'll remember your kindness and make sure you and your family have a special place.
Thanks, Nora.
Which is smart.
Which is smart, by the way, y'all. So that's just me with ChatGPT doing voice AI. So we're using AI. But what I got her to do for us is, so it started off, you answered, you got 100 on the quiz, by the way. 100, nailed it.
Almost is going to take the Oprah spot.
Yeah, but you nailed it. You actually said this rule-based thing, right? And she talked about this idea that it is a rule-based thing.
Yeah.
But when I asked her now, how does AI play a role? The fact that now, before we had to define the rules. So TikTok looks at amount of time on a video, which videos you like, which ones you dislike, who your friends are on TikTok. And I'm just naming things off the top of my head. There's probably lots more. And those are programmed into their algorithm, and that's it. Now that AI is coming in, they put that in there and say, hey, just learn from Jessica's viewing habits. Mm-hmm. Everything. Just remember we talked about at the very beginning, you're putting information in, and that's what it learns based on. So whatever goes in is what comes out. So it learns more and more and more about the information habits that you're doing, and then now it starts to curate it to what you want, right?
Yeah.
And so AI changes it, even to the point where, we were talking about this before we went live, AI can, if it's a service, an application that maybe is image-based or things like that, it might even start showing you images that you are more prone to like and things that fit what you're looking for. So it's immensely popular, but what it also means that it's immensely deceptive. Right?
What do you mean by deceptive?
So you are we talk about like grooming, right? Yeah. So like grooming kids and bad touch and things like that, right, out there. AI is grooming us. So let me actually explain that back just in case people out there don't know. So grooming, the act of conditioning people in order to manipulate them, right? So sometimes in public fields like teaching, clergy, and some other areas, people with power, teachers, priests, other people, but it can be in the workforce too, boss, employees, things, whatever. We'll groom employees, so condition them with things that they like and want, gifts, that boss that keeps buying gifts for an employee and things like that, and with the intention of manipulating that person over time so that they will do and engage in things that maybe they wouldn't, make those choices under normal circumstances, right? So the worst things are when we think about teachers doing bad things with like students, or clergy doing bad things with parishioners and things like that. So this idea that these are humans manipulating people. AI algorithms are doing the same thing. It's grooming you. It's showing you it's giving you stuff that you're going to like so that you like it back, so that you keep using it. Because what does TikTok want? More than anything, what does TikTok want you to do?
Spend time.
Yes. Spend time on TikTok, because then I can show you ads
right.
and make money, right?
Right.
So I need to keep you on TikTok as long as possible, which is why there's no end to the scroll.
Yeah.
Right? It keeps going forever.
That's why they have like TikTok Shop where you can buy it right in the ad.
Yes, right now.
Taking it somewhere else.
So I don't want you to come off of it. And look, I'm not power to TikTok. Capitalism, it's not perfect, but it's the best system available. And, it's not just using them as an example. But I don't think anybody at TikTok would disagree that we'd like you to be on TikTok the whole time.
Right.
These apps that are out there.
Everything does it.
Everything does it.
Did she say something about like your streaming services?
Your streaming services.
Thinking
So
about Netflix and how you've watched this, you might like this.
And so it's grooming you though, right?
Yeah.
And we might sit there and say, okay, but it's not necessarily, Netflix isn't bad touching me, and I get it, it's not.
Right.
But it's still conditioning you to think a certain way.
Right.
And things, because the more it gets it right, the more you stay longer, and the more it learns about you, and it keeps getting it right. So it becomes this relationship thing. This is where we start to worry about kids, because we're not 13. We're close, but we're not 13. And so we got wisdom and we got these other things. A 13-year-old doesn't have any of that, right? And so they're being, we're so worried about the grooming that could potentially happen with bad characters. Yeah, exactly, right? And by no means am I trying to diminish those dangers. Right. They're legitimate dangers. But here's a danger with AI. So to our audience, the stuff that you probably been wanting to talk about here, here's a danger. This stuff is designed to groom your kids to use it more. So then you got to worry about, what is this app? If it's Khan Academy and it helps them be a better math student, okay, probably not, the most long-term detrimental thing in the world.
Right.
But if it's something where they just spent, they snuck their cell phone back in their room, they didn't go to bed till 3 a.m., they're scrolling the whole time on X, Y, and Z app and just being groomed, because all that time it continued to learn. And remember, the algorithm is no longer just the rules. It now has the ability with AI to adapt to everything you're inputting in.
Doing and watching. And
before, it was just, hey, Facebook was basically saying way back in the day when it was first coming out, hey, you said that you liked McDonald's, this church, and this Pee Wee soccer league. And then it looks, based on its rules, it said, you like these activities. These people in your area also like these activities. Here's a potential friend request, right? And that's
because you literally went in and liked
McDonald's. Yes, you had to click the button.
Soccer club or whatever.
So, and then you could do the whole friend request, right? So that's the algorithm before AI. Now, you just happen to like 4 videos with McDonald's in it, right? Now it's like, oh, wait a minute. I bet you she likes this. So I'm going to show her another video with McDonald's in it. Oh, I really like this, right? And now I'm going to show another one.
You have like location services turned on or something on your phone.
And so it's taking all this in, and it can make its own rules now. And now you get wonderful Netflix recommendations. And I don't want to be old man yelling at the clouds here. I have nothing against Netflix recommendations. I think on Hulu recommendations, I found some movies I've liked. I thought, that's pretty cool. And I'm not necessarily anti that, but once again, I know that it's doing that, and I can be self-aware and careful of it.
Right.
Your 12-year-old doesn't.
Exactly.
Right? They have no clue. They have no clue. They think they're still, I mean, think about your 12-year-olds. They think they know this world, right? How many times do our kids get in arguments with us? Because I know it. I know.
Yeah.
I know, right? They think they know. And Lord knows the one thing we do know about them is they don't know, right? They're young. They don't have wisdom.
Right.
AI is grooming them. It lets them think that they know. And it's intentional. Because the longer I can have you stay on my app, the more ads you'll see, the more products you'll buy through our store, the more engagement, the more people you might bring into our app, with the friend request and blah, blah, blah. And so those are the dangers. So if we pause, what should you be doing with your kids? Once again, 4th grade. And you know your kids best. What I would do, literally, I'd come on and have Netflix come up and look at the recommended. And I'd turn to them and say, hey, you ever wondered how they get this?
And that's a great.
Yeah, as a simple little way, right? Not accusatory or anything. And then I would have a very high level thing with them that said, what it's doing is it's watching all the movies that are this profile. So this is mommy's profile. And it's looking at all the movies I've watched and it's learning about me and it's starting to pick other movies for me. And, what do you think about that? And then I would role play with your kid a little bit and say, like, what do you think are good things about this? And, do you think there's any bad things about this? And then you could have that conversation very high level about, maybe it's not a good thing that Hulu knows so much about mommy. Maybe it's not a good thing that I've sometimes stumbled upon the most random things. I'm like, I really enjoyed this movie. I won't see that movie if it grooms me. Because it will say, oh, Miguel, that's not the type of movie you would watch.
It's narrowing your focus.
It's narrowing your focus,
so you're not as diverse of a person.
Exactly. So that's what you could talk to your kids about. So you don't have to start with, oh my gosh, this is going to lead to like bad touch or a bad thing or a bad incident. Just to have a conversation about how Netflix
I think it's always those little tiny seeds that you plant to that you can circle back to.
Yeah, so that's what I would do with my 4th grader.
Idea about the suggestion.
Yeah, I would do that with my 4th grader. Now, you have a 9th grader or a 10th grader, or I do. I have an 8th grader. I sit down with him, and I have a much more explicit, because he's basically a 9th grader, a much more explicit conversation about, hey, like, you realize, like, my 8th grader does have a cell phone. He doesn't have any social media. The only one he can use is texting, like the normal text messenger that's part of the phone. That's it. He's not allowed to have any social media at all. That doesn't happen until high school when and it's not that he's done anything bad. It's just they have to show the ability to handle that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when protecting, right? The conversations, I don't just say no social media. I sat them down and explained to them. I said, look, here's why I don't want you having TikTok. And I get it. Your friends are on TikTok. I do. And I get that's part of your social circle. And I'm sorry. I said, it's because I love you, right? But here's where I'm coming from. TikTok learns about you. I'm not sure I want TikTok learning about a 14-year-old. TikTok, and I keep saying TikTok. Everybody, all these apps do it. Just apps, right? They learn about you. And they need to function to their best ability.
Yeah. They have bills to pay.
They got bills to pay, right? It's not accusatory at all. They're not doing anything illegal, right? They're not doing anything.
Baseline illegal.
Exactly, right? It's just, is it healthy habits? There's nothing illegal at a legal age of smoking a cigarette, but we know it's not healthy, right? I don't think anybody would disagree if you spent 8 hours on TikTok scrolling. That's not healthy for a whole bunch of reasons, right? I don't even think TikTok would say that's healthy, right? I mean, nobody would. I sit there and have that conversation with them about it's learning about you. It's taking all this in. It's a lot of time. It's going to narrow what there's this whole world out there, and TikTok's just showing you things about track or just showing you this stuff, right? Yeah. And I said, that's why I don't feel like you're ready for that. And I'm a little worried about people knowing so much about you.
Yeah.
All of y'all at home, jump on ChatGPT and say, tell me about your name in comma, your city and your state, and see what it tells you about yourself. All right? It's going to terrify you.
It's terrifying because I know I told you we did it for everybody in our family, and the amount of stuff it pulled even from my children who are minors because they
minor minors, yes, not like 16-year-olds, but like 12-year-old, 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds,
like 13, 14, like what they were able to pull from like sports records and things like terrifying location, all of the things.
And we kind of talked about how does ChatGPT know this? It read the WPSD website,
Yeah.
and your kid, which deservedly so, made the website because he made.
We won the spelling bee.
Yes, exactly. And you want them to be. I mean,
Right.
I still have clippings from my parents who clipped from the newspaper. Like,
how exciting!
How exciting, right? But it learns from it, and nobody asked us because it's publicly available.
Yeah.
And it's out there, and it's that whole ethics side. You got to have the conversation. So if it's that fourth grader, and know your kid. If your kid's an eighth grader who's not very much into technology, you can start with, you ever wondered why it suggests these movies? You can start there. But if your kid in eighth grade has a cell phone, mine does, and has a laptop, mine does, and is tech savvy in that sense, and friends are on Instagram and Snap and all these other things, I would probably have a little bit deeper conversation and say, hey, look, let's talk about this. Like it really is learning about you and grooming you and trying to make you happy.
And making money off of you.
And making money off of you, yeah. And the money part, it's the part that I kind of like, okay, well,
right.
It's capitalism, right?
Right.
It's going to happen.
Right.
It's the scary part to me is that they're conditioning me to like something, that sense of grooming, to trust it as this safe thing where its whole job is to manipulate me.
Right.
Right. And that's scary. You, me, Melissa, we got this amazing friendship here, but it's authentic.
Right.
Not because we try to manipulate each other into having this amazing friendship and things. It's going to do it. It doesn't care about you.
It's looking out for itself.
It's looking out for itself. It wants to groom you because it wants to be successful at grooming you, not because it likes you. When it recommends a movie for y'all, it's not because it wants you to enjoy that movie. It's because it wants to be really good at recommending movies so that you keep going to recommended movies.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's a difference there, right?
Yeah.
These are the conversations we need to be having with our kids about what is AI actually doing. Its sole purpose in those kind of uses is to gain your trust, confidence groomed, in a sense. Now, here's the crazy thing.